One of the biggest problems that I've seen over the last 4 years of running ads with Fiture marketing is that people have no idea what type of budget they need to actually have success. And a lot of times it's kind of like, what can I afford, or what do you think is a good idea? And I've noticed that whenever you go in with a what can I afford mentality, you never really have the success. The way to do this is to say or ask, what do I need in order to guarantee my success? And so after years and years of trying to figure out the best way to help people with this, I actually built a tool with AI that is going to give you exactly how much you need to spend on ads to have success, predict your success within very slim margins, and give you a complete blueprint and game plan how to grow your business with advertising. So with all that being said, let me introduce you the ad calculator. So first thing is, you come here and you put in your service, okay? This one is primarily designed for service businesses. I'm going to create another one that's designed for e-commerce, but for now, let's focus on service businesses. So let's say I'm a wedding photographer, right? And I go like this, and I do wedding photography. And let's say my price is $2,500, and let's say that my margins are like 40% because I employ someone or have someone help me or whatever else. So I put that information in. Now, if I have additional services, I can add those here. Let's say I also have videography. Okay, so I can put that in here, and then let's say that's $3,500, and let's say my margins on that are 20% because I hire another person and they do all the work, right? Now, as I scroll down here, I'm going to put in about my customer. Is this a one and done purchase, or is it something that they keep coming back? Now, obviously for videography or wedding photography, it's a one and done, hopefully. But if you have like a gym, or if you have like a Botox or some type of other service that people constantly come back and use, you would put that in, and you would also change this to reoccurring, and then how many times per year. So if it was like Botox, you can put like 6 times per year or whatever. If it was a gym membership, you can put 12, like that, right? So you put in all those details, okay? Let me get rid of this one. And then you say if it's one or done, or they keep coming back. Now what you do is you scroll down and you click continue. So this is part 2. So now here, you want to look at a couple things. What is your landing page conversion rate? So that means for every 100 people that visit your website, how many of them are actually filling out your form, calling you, whatever else, okay? So you have to take a look at your website analytics to tell what this is. It'll tell you right here, typically 8 to 15% for most industries. Now that's if you're like advertising and sending traffic to a landing page. If you're sending traffic to your website, it may be way, way, way lower than that. But let's say just for this example, let's say we have a 10% conversion rate. Oh, sorry. Let's say we have a 10% conversion rate. So we'll put this at 10% right there. Now, for every lead that you get, how many of them actually pick up the phone? That's going to be your contact rate. Okay, so out of 100 leads that come in, how many do you actually get in front of? You're going to put that in. Let's say it's 35%. Typical is going to be 20 to 40%. Now, what is your close rate? If your sales guy or you, whoever's selling for your business, talks to 10 people, how many of them are actually going to buy? You put that in right there. And then, what is your cost per click? So you can see here it has some typical numbers based on the industries. So let's say for this example, we say we have a $5 cost per click. And now here's where it gets really cool. You can say, what is your desired profit margin, and how soon do you want to recoup your ad spend? So the reason these numbers are in here is because if you're trying to be at like a 50% profit margin, you can't really afford to pay for customers, right? But let's say with this example, you're trying to be at a 25% profit margin. You can afford to spend up to $375 to get a new customer. And then right here, how soon do you need to recoup your ad spend? If you are a one and done business, you're always going to leave it at 1 month. If you have a reoccurring revenue model like a gym, like an advertising service, something like that, you can put that and say, maybe I'm okay waiting 2 or 3 months. Now, it's not even gonna let me move it because I'm on a one and done service, but if I was doing a reoccurring service, it would let me slide that slider over. Now I click continue, Now this is where it gets really cool, because I can tell it what my goal is. So I can say my goal is either new customers, a certain amount of revenue, or a budget that I have. So let's say my goal is to get 15 new customers a month, okay, for my $2,500 videography service. I can click see my plan, and now here's where it gets nice. You can say, it'll tell you where you're at. Advertising can work with focus. That's for your wedding photography. If you click on videography, advertising can work with focus. Okay, what does this mean with focus? Well, let's go take a look here. Here's what it's telling us. In order for me to get my goal, which is 15 new customers per month, at all the numbers that I put in, I would need to spend $238 per day, which is about $7,150 a month, and I would make $7,857 in profit every month for a 110% return on my investment. So what does all this mean? Well, I'm gonna break it down very simply for you. First and foremost, it's telling you your customer value, what the customer pays your business, is what you put in, 2,500 bucks. What you're gonna make or keep in profit from that is 1,000 bucks. How much you're gonna spend to acquire a customer? 375 bucks, okay? So that right there is your model. Now, what you can see here is based on the numbers you put in, what your funnel will actually look like. 1,500 clicks, 143 leads, 50 conversations, and 15 new customers. And your ad budget needs to be $238 per day. Okay, now this is what it's telling you your actual ad spend customer acquisition cost is going to be. So our target 375, but right now we're closer to 500 bucks. So we got to find a way to get this down. So here's the really cool thing. If you scroll down here, it's going to say your best opportunity is your landing page conversion rate. If you can increase that, you would save money on ads. So if we can get a better headline or a better whatever, and we can get this up to 13%. Now we can scroll back up to the top and we're actually in the money, meaning that we're going to acquire customers for less than what we need to be at in order to be successful in this campaign. Now, as you look through this, it's going to break everything down for you. So what do you make each month? You're going to get $37,500 from new customers, and that's your 15 sales at $2,500 a piece. You're going to get $15,000 in profit before ads. With your ad spend, which now went down because we have a better conversion rate on the landing page, if I subtract the ad spend, I'm going to make $9,700 after ad spend, and I'm going to have a 184% return on ad spend. So for every $1 I spend on ads, I get $1.84 back in profit, which is the key. Okay, so then the big picture is if you have one of those reoccurring business models, this is going to break down how much you're going to make over the lifetime. So for example, if I had a service that was 2,500 bucks and people came in to do it twice a year, this would account for the twice a year numbers. And if you ever don't know what anything means, just hover over the little question mark and it'll pop up and tell you exactly what it means. So now here's what it's telling you. For every $1 you spend on ads, you're going to get $7.10 back. Now that's just revenue, but for your actual return on ad spend for profit, you're at a $1.84 for every dollar you spend on ads. So that's the difference between this number here and this number down here. And so this is really cool because you can stop saying, what should my ad budget be? Or I don't know if I can advertise. And you can now say, what do I need to do in order to advertise, right? Maybe I need to be willing to accept a little bit lower profit margin. Maybe I need to get my cost per click down, right? So you can play with this to see where your numbers need to be. And once you have this plan, you literally run this and you make sure that you're hitting your numbers and you're guaranteed to have the result that you're looking for. It takes all the guesswork out of advertising. So yeah, if you want help doing this, just click book that strategy call, and if not, best of luck to you. All right, have a good one.